All right. Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is the weekly eCom planning session. So, my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them to get organized, get focused, get consistent in their business. And if that's you, I am always here for you. You'll be given the opportunity to schedule a free 20-minute coaching session if you like. But with that, today's topic is how to create listings faster. If you're a seller, how to get your listings up faster and so you don't spend so much time on your listings. So, we're going to talk about a couple of strategies on how to do that. But before we get into it, I want you to know that we're live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. So you can join the conversation by going over to the e-commerce planning Facebook group and jumping in and watching there live so you can see the presentation on my screen. Or you can also join us on Clubhouse. We are in the eCom Sellers House. Again, the eCom Sellers House. So you can join us there in the eCom Sellers House. After we go through our topic of how to create listings faster, then we're going to go through and review the weekly ecom planning checklist. So you can download the weekly ecom planning checklist by going over to the e-commerce planning Facebook group and then clicking on the files section. It's in the menu navigation, clicking on the files section. And then once you click on the files section, you can download the daily, the weekly, and the monthly planning checklist. You use that to help you to, make progress in your business, get some momentum going. So go download the checklist now so that when we're done with the conversation, you will be able to follow along with our topic, our discussion. So with that, today's topic again is how to create listings faster. And there's a few different strategies that you can use. You can use all of these, you can use a couple of these, or you can use none of these. This is not the all end all be all list, but this is, a few good ones that you can use. So the first one on the list is you can use the listing integration tool. There are several listing integration tools. There's also cross-posting tools, but listing integration tools will allow you to be able to create your listing inside of the tool or create a templated version of it and then push that listing onto the specific platform that you want to sell on. So if you're selling on Amazon, if you're selling on Walmart, like there's existing listing integration tools to help you to get your listings in there. I won't say that that's 100% faster because you have to get good at the tool. You have to understand the tool. And so using that to help you to make some progress is one way to do it. Now, each one of the platforms, they actually do have decent tools that they give you for free just for selling on their platform, for being a seller on their platform. So I won't say that what they already give you to be able to create the listing is bad. It actually is good. And some of them will also give you information about what's good or bad about your listing, like how can I improve the listing. So looking at the platform tools, but using an integration tool of some type to be able to create your listings in and then pushing it out. You can also look at cross-listing tools. Once your listing exists on a platform, cross-listing it onto another platform. That's one way to get some listings out to other platforms faster. So number one has a couple of different strategies within one. You can call them A, B, and C. Then number two is do a bulk upload. Several other platforms give you the ability to do a bulk upload. And if you're using a listing integration tool, they may have a feature within it where you can do a bulk upload. Like a bulk upload is using a spreadsheet of some type. All the information is in the spreadsheet. You're trying to get a bunch of listings up real quick. You just upload the spreadsheet. And then once you do that, it pushes it over to the platform. Some of the platforms already have bulk listers within them, so you don't have to pay for that. You can use the features and functionality within the existing tools that are out there. Or again, you may be able to use some features within an integration tool. So a bulk listing, a bulk upload. The next one is piggybacking on an existing listing. Piggybacking on an existing listing, that terminology is really specific to more Amazon and sometimes Walmart. Like there's an existing listing out there, so you're just going to add your quantity to that listing. So if you're selling Dawn dishwashing liquid, okay? So Dawn dishwashing liquid, and you've got maybe 50 of them that you want to jump on the existing listing. It's the same color, it's the same scent, it's the same ounces. The label is exactly the same as the image that's represented. So you're going to add it to your inventory, indicate your quantity, and there you go. You're going to decide whether or not you're going to do merchant fulfilled or if you're going to send it into Amazon FBA. But that's in essence how, or if you're going to sell on Walmart, that's in essence what piggybacking is. On eBay, there is like sell mine or sell yours or sell whatever. And you can choose that option as well. Again, finding something that already exists and doing the sell yours is another way to be able to do that. And that will allow you to get that listing up much faster because all you're doing is just adding quantity. You may have some specifics that you need to add outside of that and some things that are unique about your shipping. But outside of that, that's the short version of that. And if you are a reseller, selling yours is the fastest way to get listings up quickly every single day. So if your goal is to create 10 listings a day, then selling yours or piggybacking off an existing listing is the fastest way to do that. One of the like different types of products that you could probably do this with is replenishables and consumables. Always an easy way to be able to piggyback and sell yours. Okay. Then you have resell the similar or the same things. There are some people that they specialize in just selling tennis shoes, or they specialize in just selling jeans, or they specialize in just selling dress shirts, or they specialize in selling stuffed animals. And so if that is your area, your niche product, then you can create listings a whole lot faster when you resell similar or the same items. So niching down, deciding that you're going to niche down, you're going to sell maybe board games or maybe hand lotions, whatever you decide you're going to sell. It's a niche, and so you have that product niche down to a science. You know what the keywords are. You know what the title needs to look like. You kind of know what the description is because you're selling the same thing or similar products in the same category. So it's not always the same product. It's just products that are in a similar category. And so what makes that much faster is that, you've got some of this memorized. You know what the keywords need to be. You know how the title needs to be on the different platforms. So it makes it much faster for you to create listings. And then if you establish goals and targets, then you can meet your goals and targets. Number 5 is to create a template. Creating a template is definitely another way to be able to create listings faster. Again, more than likely going to do that with niche products, or if you don't do it with niche products, you could also consider doing it with things like maybe you're a reseller of many different products. Maybe you specialize in baby or kids or elementary or something like that. And so you're not just focused on one type of product. You're not just selling tennis shoes. You're not just selling jackets. You're selling everything that's in that category that's related to kids. So you might have shoes, you might have socks, you might have lunch pails, you might have backpacks, you might have any number of things, toys, but it's all kid related. So you can create templates for the different types of products that you're going to be selling, which makes it a whole lot easier. A lot of the platforms will allow you to create a listing template. Not all of them will, but a lot of them will. So that's another opportunity to create your listings faster. You can hire a virtual assistant, which is number 6. Hiring a virtual assistant will definitely allow you the opportunity to create your listings faster because you're not doing it. Now, you listing at the same time your VA is listing is doubling your work, which is fantastic. So if you're listing for an hour, your VA is listing for an hour, and your VA has a goal of creating 4 listings or 6 listings or 8 listings in an hour, and you have a goal of creating 4, 6, or 8 listings in an hour, then you have now doubled your work because you have a VA doing the same thing that you're doing. So hiring a VA can definitely help you. Number 7 is using AI tools. You can use AI tools to help you to write the title and the description so much faster than you kind of stumbling through it and thinking about it yourself. An AI tool, in most cases, it will be a copy and paste kind of situation with a few edits. So you still have to do, maybe in most cases, some level of edits, but it will allow you the opportunity to create the title faster and the description faster. Okay. The next is to group batch similar products. So again, if you're selling a variety of different products, And let's go back to you're selling a bunch of stuff for kids. So you could run the gamut: toys, board games, clothes, school supplies, learning activities. You could just run the gamut, but it's all related to kids. So, in addition to creating a template, you could batch together that work. So, on Mondays, maybe you create all board game listings. On Tuesday, you create all tennis shoe related listings. On Wednesdays, you create all, I don't know, outdoor activity related listings like skateboards and stuff like that, bicycles. So you put together similar things so that way it makes it so much faster for you to create listings on those days because you're focused on the same topic. Again, going back to you master the titles, you master the keywords, you master the descriptions because of the fact that they are all similar things. So if you're a person that's reselling and selling a variety of different products, batch together the things that are the same on a day, on a specific day. So in order to do that, I normally do my planning on like a Sunday, what I'm going to list for the rest of the week, so that way I can batch those items together. Number 9 is to find non-copyrighted, non-branded product images online. So you don't always want to take someone else's image, but if you're like listing something like, I'm just going to use Dawn. I used Dawn dishwashing liquid before, so Dawn dishwashing liquid. Like there's 9,000 pictures out there in the universe of Dawn dishwashing liquid. Now, do you want to take your own picture of it? No. You can just take a picture that already exists on the internet, and you can upload that if that listing does not already exist. Now, there's a high probability it already exists, but if it doesn't exist and I wanted to create a listing for Dawn, maybe I'm doing a multi-pack or a bundle of some type, so I'm selling a 4-pack of Dawn. Then I can take an existing listing, clear the background, stack those images on top of each other, and create my own version of this particular listing, this image. So again, taking an existing listing and editing it and doing that. Now, you don't want to do that for anything that's branded, meaning they've got their little icon or superimpose or, a watermark on it. Don't do that. Don't take anybody else's custom unique images. If your vendor provider is not vendor, vendor provider, or if your wholesale supplier is providing you stock images, again, take those stock images that they give you and do something a little different so yours sort of stands out differently, especially if you're planning on branding and like you're doing white label. So you do want to modify those. But yeah, if you can find a product that's just a standard product and you can use that image, use it. That doesn't apply to everything universally. You need to be able to determine this is one of those that I cannot take the image and I don't want to get in trouble with copyright. Because let me just tell you, like a lot of these businesses, they have deeper pockets than you. They have a battery of attorneys. So you don't want to deal with that. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you use it on your e-commerce journey. Share this out with a friend. Let somebody else know about the daily and weekly e-com planning session. And I hope you'll tune in again for the next episode. So with that, let's get into the weekly planning session. All right. So I think you should turn up the dial on your e-commerce business and get laser focused by getting the e-com planner. And that is one of the things that will help you to get organized and help you to get focused. The goal is for you to be able to use the planner to plan what you're going to be doing for the week, to go out and source, list your products, and make some money. That's what the objective is of being an e-commerce seller is. So the e-com planner can help you with that level of organization. You can grab the e-com planner at myecomplanner.com right now. So you go to myecomplanner.com to grab the 2023 e-com planner. You can also get the digital version, and you can also get the PDF version. And if you want to schedule a free 20-minute coaching session, you can go to ecomsellers.com. You can click on free resources and schedule your free 20-minute coaching session. So go over to ecomsellers.com. Let's have a conversation about your business. And to do that, I want to encourage you to schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. And if you need some support on your e-commerce journey, I invite you to join eCom Sellers Academy. It's terribly affordable. It's $17.99 a month. You can join eCom Sellers Academy today. And if you do, you'll get access to our free weekly training sessions, our free weekly Q&As, our live our monthly quarterly coaching sessions. I'm trying to think of everything else. We get 10 arbitrage leads every single week, which is great for you to help you to be able to find those replenishables and consumables to help you make money over and over again. You also get a free wholesale list every single week to help you on your journey. So go join eCom Sellers Academy, and if you sign up for the lifetime, you'll get a free eCom planner. So sign up today at ecomsellersacademy.com. Now it's time to go and review the weekly planning checklist. So if you didn't download the weekly planning checklist, go do that now so that you'll have the opportunity. If you don't remember, it's inside of the eCommerce planning Facebook group. And so you can go to the file section and download it. Afterwards, if you want to continue the conversation, we can continue the conversation on Clubhouse. You can go to the eCom Sellers house and let's talk about your business. So with that, we're going to get into the weekly planning session. I do encourage you to go ahead and grab a notebook and pen. I actually did do some planning for my weekly planning session. So I had an idea of everything that I need to get done next week. It also helps me to be able to coordinate and plan the work that I need to do with my VAs. So let's get into it. So the objective in the weekly planning session is for you to learn how to be intentional or to be intentional every day in your business, because your incremental improvements implemented over time can help reshape your future business. It really can. We are wrapping up the end of May. We're going into June, and then at the end of June, we'll be done with the quarter. So again, your daily activities, your weekly activities, your daily activities contribute to your weekly success. Your weekly activities contribute to your monthly success. Your monthly activities contribute to your quarterly success, and your quarterly activities contribute to your yearly success. So if you're looking to make some progress in your business, you have to be consistent every single day, because they stack on top of each other and they matter. Whatever you do in your business, be consistent about it. So with that, let's get into it. There are going to be a couple of things we're going to do. We're going to build out a template for the week. You may or may not need to do this depending on how many times you participated in the weekly planning sessions. After we build out your template, and then we're going to use that to build the actual schedule. And then after we build the actual schedule, then those are the two biggest things that we're going to be doing. We're not doing the monthly planning just yet until I think tomorrow. I think the monthly planning is actually tomorrow. I just thought about that. So yeah, so you can tune into tomorrow for the monthly planning session. But we have two steps. We're going to use the guide and then want to create the guide. And then after we create the guide, then we will create the weekly plan. So the first step in creating the guide is we're going to you can do this inside your eCom planner, or you can grab a notebook, or you can use a spreadsheet. So if you've got a notebook, a spiral bound notebook or a flip notebook, whatever, you're going to use multiple sheets, probably about 5 sheets. We're going to, on sheet 1 of this notebook, we're going to write down a brain dump of the things that we already do every single day. So you can have sheet 1 and you can split it up into 3 columns. So the first column will be the things that you already do. These are things that are set in stone. These are routines that are established. These are things that actually either make your life easy, move the needle, or they're just part of your basic routine. So if you have a job, getting up and going to work from 8 to 5 is an established routine. So that's stuff you already do. And so you're going to write down that list. You're going to create a column. Column number 1 on that sheet number 1 is things that you already do. Column number 2 is going to be the day in which you do them. And column number 3 is the time that you do them. That's pretty straightforward. We're going to do a brain dump of that. If you're creating a spreadsheet, we're going to have on spreadsheet number 1, we're going to, and you can do that in Google Spreadsheets, which is great because it's absolutely free. So if you have a Gmail account, you're going to go over to the upper right-hand corner where you have the 9 clustered dots together, click on that. And then from there, you're going to click on the triangle that says Drive. Once you click on the multicolored triangle, it's red, yellow, and blue. You're going to, from there, go over to, it's red, yellow, blue, and green. Sorry, there's a green in there. Then you're going to go to Drive. Once you go to Drive, drive is going to launch in a brand new window, you're going to go over to the left-hand side. You're going to click on the multicolored plus, and you're going to choose the green spreadsheets. Once you open the green spreadsheets, you're going to have sheet number one. Sheet number one is going to be things that you already do. And again, you're going to have under sheet number one, you're going to have column number one, stuff that you already do. Column number two of that same sheet is the day in which you already do them, and column number three is the time in which you already do them. Now, you don't want to add anything to the spreadsheet that's really not serving you well, because the goal is to create a schedule that's realistic and efficient and actually is going to help you move the needle in your life or reduce the stress or help you manage things better. So if there are things that you're doing on a regular basis that don't bring you joy or don't serve your business well or don't serve your life well, then I would try to figure out a replacement for that or remove it from the spreadsheet and just stop doing it if it's a possibility. Now, if you had a job and the thing that you're annoyed with and don't like is your job, then that's a whole different discussion. And you're going to have to work on your game plan and get better at your e-commerce game so that way you can quit your job. I'm just saying. So that's sheet number one. Now, sheet number two, if you're going the notebook route, then you're going to have the things that you must or need to do every single day. All you're going to do is you're going to have 3 columns there too. So you're going to write down the things that you need or must do in your life and in your business. This is your personal stuff. This is your job stuff. This is your family stuff. This is your financial stuff. This is your fitness stuff. You're just going to create a brain dump list going down column number one. Column number 2 and number 3, we're going to leave blank for right now. Column number 2 is which day do you do it? And the column number 3 is the time in which you do it. We're going to leave those blank. And then if you're using the spreadsheet, again, you're going to click on the tiny little plus at the lower left-hand side of the Google Sheet, and that's going to create a sheet number 2. You're going to create, that one's going to be the things that you need or must do. And so you need to go ahead and click on that. You need to type that in the column number 1, column A1, and then column B1 and C1 are going to be things, the day in which you do them and the time. We're going to leave those blank. So we're going to just do it right. We're just brain dumping right now. We're just writing down some ideas, some thoughts. Okay. Then column number 3, or the next spreadsheet is, and this is your next page in your notebook, is sheet number 3 is going to be what you want or should be doing. I think all of us know the things that we should be doing, what we're not doing them. And so if there are some things that you do them randomly and you're not consistent about it, you probably want to put it on your want or should list. If you're doing things consistently, then that's different. It goes on the already do. But if you're inconsistent about them and you know that doing this on a regular basis is really going to change your life and change your business, then I want to put that on that sheet number 3. So again, you're going to have the 3 columns. You're going to have column number 1, column number 2, column number 3. Column number 2 and 3, of course, are going to be the day and the time. We're going to leave those blank. But column number 1 is going to be just your brain dump of ideas. And I'm going to give you some ideas here in a second. Then if you're using the Google Sheet, then you've got to click on the little plus again at the lower left-hand side. And you're going to have sheet number 3, and you're going to use that one to write down the things that you want or should be doing. So A1 should be the things that you want to do. B1 and C1 are going to be the title of those fields in the spreadsheet, are going to be the day and the time. We're leaving that part blank because we're going to fill that in later. We're going to build a puzzle, sort of plug in the places, plug in the pieces. So now that we've got these 3 sheets, things that we already do and they serve our business and life well, things that we need or must be doing, and things that we want or should be doing. So I want you to think about, as I go through this list of random things, I want you to think about things that which one of these sheets should this go on? So I want you to think about your personal life. What are the things that you're doing in your personal life? Like spiritual, like do you go to church on a regular basis? Probably, maybe, I don't know. But if it's something you already do, then you put it on the spreadsheet. And which day do you go and what time do you go? That's something you can fill in. If you don't go and you feel like that's something that's going to serve your life and business better, if you did that, then maybe it goes on your want or maybe it goes on your need. So figure out which spreadsheet that goes on. Personal items like, getting together with girlfriends or family members or your male friends or just going out. Some people love to go fishing. Some people love to do meditation. These are all things that may or may not serve your life or business well. And then financial, like, reconciling your personal, not business yet, financial stuff, um, or, engaging and balancing your bank account if you're, trying to figure out where all your money goes at the end of the month or at the end of the week, things like that. So are there some financial obligations that you really need to do a better job of? Are there any fitness related obligations that you feel like you need to do a better job of, or health related? And then also family and household. So family and household, like when are you cleaning the house? Are you consistent about that? Do you already have an established routine or not? When are you going to the grocery store and buying groceries or restocking? Or maybe you're not going and you're just ordering and having them delivered. Like, what is your routine? And when do you normally do these things? Or you don't have an established routine and you find yourself overwhelmed every single week. So the goal is, in building this out, is to actually reduce the overwhelm. And this is a lot of detail. I will tell you that for some people, building this detail is overwhelming all by itself. I get it. I understand. For others, it is something that's going to help them actually reclaim their schedule and reclaim their life. They find themselves wasting time doing things that are not serving them well, things that are costing them money or that they're wasting money on. And so, again, this is your opportunity to get better at this and to get more consistent and to build routines. Because I would tell you, when you have established routines, you actually make way more progress in your life and in your business. You'll find yourself going, wow, like people will be going, how do you get so much done in a day? And it's like, it's only because you're organized and you have a system in place. Now, if you're a person that already has an established system, then you don't really need this level of detail. But again, if you're a person that is wasting a lot of time and you can't figure out what you've done at the end of a day, let alone at the end of a week or at the end of a month, then you need an established routine and you need a checklist to be able to follow every single day. Otherwise, you'll find yourself 6 months later trying to figure out why you hadn't done something that you knew you needed to do. Or you'll be revisiting, oh my God, what happened? First quarter is over, second quarter is almost over, and I still haven't made any progress in my business. So if that's you, then this routine will help you to get a little more organized and reclaim your time and your space. So here's some other things to think about as an e-commerce seller. Sourcing activities, again, you need to figure out where this goes, whether it's something you already do, something you need or must do, because there's some essentials to being a seller. You need to be sourcing. You need to be doing product research. You need to be listing, and you need to make sure your products get to a customer. Those 4 things you definitely need to do if you're a real seller. You also need to do customer service. That's number 5. But you need to do those things. And if you're not doing them, as I go through this list, then it definitely goes on the need list. If you're doing them randomly and haphazardly, but you think a little more consistency would actually help your bottom line and help you to make more money, then it goes under your want. So sourcing for stuff that's, you want to sell in the next 4 to 20 weeks. So sourcing in advance, sourcing for upcoming holidays, events, seasons, sourcing for replenishables and consumables, wholesale sourcing or drop shipping, researching drop shipping opportunities, private label sourcing or white label opportunities. Again, that's not all of them, but that's hopefully at least a little trigger to make you think about it. Are you doing those things? Are you not? Which column or sheet does that go on? Next one is research related activities. Everyone should be doing some level of product research. You should be doing some level of keyword research. You're going to have some listing research that you need to do, especially if you're selling new things. Like, listing research is what needs to go in the description, what needs to go in the title. So again, are you engaging in any type of research, or are you just randomly not doing any of that? If you're piggybacking off existing listings, that's great for you. Maybe somebody else has already optimized that listing, so you're just reselling and you don't have to think about that. But if you're creating listings at all, you should be thinking about what the keywords are and the titles and things like that. So product research still does require you to go out there and see, what is this thing selling for, and how much is it, what's the profit on it, profit margins, what's the lowest price that I can get it for, blah blah blah, what's the shipping involved. Like, all of that is part of product research. Listing related activities. Listings like your title, your description, the images, the price, cross listing onto other platforms, doing multi-channel, creating a listing video, a video that goes with your listing when you create the listing. Are you doing that, or are you not doing it? So what's happening? The next one is administrative activities. So running platform reports. You normally do that sort of at the end of the month. Filing your taxes, doing bank reconciliation, balancing your budget, tracking your expenses and receipts, ordering inventory, checking expiration dates, auditing inventory, creating standard operating procedures, reviewing your price adjustments or using repricers or the platform's repricer tool, analyzing your data, reviewing your stats. Like, are you doing any of those? If you're not, it's part of running a business. So which column does this go under? And again, this is not a 100% all-inclusive list. These are things to jog your memory. Next is your customer service related activities, handling questions, returns, refunds, dealing with reviews. Do you do any of that work? Do you not do any of it? Should you be doing it? Does it go on your need and must, or does it go on your want and should list? Or you already do it, which is great. Education related activities. What do you need to do better? What do you need to understand better? What skill do you need to develop? What knowledge do you need to learn? Again, do you have dedicated time every single week to learning a new skill when it comes to your business? If you don't, something you need to do, you need to put it on the list. Which list does it go on? If it's something you already do, fantastic. Again, learning something new is not about spending hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours about learning how to do it. Unless you're going to immediately apply it and not going to spend any more time learning for at least another 3 to 6 months, that's a different story. If you're taking a course, that's a different story. But you need to immediately apply what you learn. So if you bought a course and you're just listening to the replay, then you need to commit no more than 30 minutes to an hour every single week to learn something and then immediately implement it, not sit there and binge watch all the videos like it's Netflix. That's not going to make you money. Learn one thing, implement it. Then learn the next thing, implement it. Then learn the next thing, implement it. Next is marketing and traffic related activities, sending your listings through Pingler or Ping Farm, sharing them on social media, sharing them in your blogs, doing paid ads, doing paid campaigns, doing email marketing or video marketing, optimizing your listings, engaging influencers, running promotions, coupons, sales, deals, any of that stuff. Are you doing any level of that or no? If you're not doing any of it, does it go on your need? Does it go on your should? Does it go on your want list? And then once you've kind of done that brain dump, it's going to take you a little bit to get through that. If this is the first time you're doing a template, then when you get to the place that you feel like you got an inclusive list, you need to go through and think about which day of the week, if I'm going to do this activity, does it make the most sense to do it? Some of these things are probably going to be like once a month, like the administrative tasks, or once or twice a month. And the other, depending on what it is, now you need to be looking at your stats like every day. So there's pieces of it that will be once a month, and there are pieces of those activities that will be every day. But, going through and doing that brain dump and figuring out which day of the week makes the most sense. And then also, which day should I do this task? Which day should I do that task? And then what time makes the most sense, or what time of day? So you may say, this is something that makes sense for me to do in the mornings. This is something that makes sense for me to do in the evening, and figuring out the day. So you're going to start filling in those columns B and C on your spreadsheets and also in your notebook. You're going to start filling in the day and the time. You're going to write it in pencil so you can change it around, mix and match, so that you can figure out which one is the best time slot. Also think about your level of productivity. Don't assign stuff, heavy work that's going to require you to do some deep thinking and focus and concentration. And don't assign it in your weakest hour. And what I mean by that is, in your weakest hour, when are you least productive? When are you least able to focus? When are you least able to get work done? If you kind of fizzle out at the end of the day, don't put down that you're going to do accounting at the end of the day. That's not going to work out for you. You'll never get it done. It will take you, if you wrote down an hour, it's going to take you 4 hours to do accounting work, because that's your least productive time of the day. So figure out when is the best and most optimal time of the day based on what you know about yourself. If you know that you have a hard time focusing in the evening, or you have a hard time focusing right after lunch, or if you know you have a hard time focusing first thing in the morning, don't put the hard stuff there. stuff that requires you to think about it and to make analytical decisions or things that are going to impact money, you need to do that in the most optimal time of the day. So figure out the best time. And again, this is a mix and match kind of situation. So you're going to change and it's going to evolve. Some of these things that you write down are going to become mini habits or mini goals. Some of them are going to be part of routines that you're going to build or habit stacking. Others are going to be time blocks. Most of this is probably going to be time blocks, but just know that some of these are going to be mini goals. So if we say that we're going to be listing, then we're probably going to set some targets for listing. I want to create 5 new listings a day. So that becomes a mini goal, mini habit that you want to track your progress. Maybe the first week, you're building momentum to get to that 5 a week. So, or 5 a day, sorry. You're building momentum to that. So maybe that first week for 5 days, you're going to actually list 2 just to build up that momentum. Then week 2, you're going to create 3 new listings. And then week 4, you're going to create 4 new listings. And by the time you get to week 4, you are creating 5 new listings. So it's a gradual progression up to your target goal. There will be things that will be habit stacks or routines where you figure out this makes the most sense to put it in this sequential order because I'm already focusing on this thing. So an example would be creating a listing. There's many different components that are part of creating a listing. You have the title, the description, the images, you got the keywords, you got the price, and you've got to put in the dimensions. Like all of that is part of creating a listing. So it's like a sandwich, stack, 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 stack. But if you are a person that when you go out and source and you put your stuff in one room and then you have to go and get it and bring it into your office, if you have to stop and take pictures and you have to stop and do keyword research and you have to stop and blah, 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 blah. For some people, if they're able to burn all the way through it, that's fantastic. And they're able to stop and do these things and keep going. But for others, it becomes a challenge for them because it's a pattern interrupt. A pattern interrupt is when you're in the middle of doing something, you have to stop, do something else, and then come back to it. It's kind of like driving down the highway versus driving down the street. When you're driving down the highway, there's no stop signs, there's no red lights. Unless there's an accident, you're just going. So you make more progress. You get further along when you're driving on the highway because 1, you get to go at a higher rate of speed, and 2, there are no lights. There's no stop signs. So you can just go. And so the progress that you make in 1 hour is completely different than the progress you would make driving in the city for 1 hour. How many miles will you have made? How many miles will you have driven? What was the speed that you were driving? Even if you were lucky enough to drive on a street that was like 50 miles an hour or 45 miles an hour, you're not going to make as much progress because you got to slow down and then you got to stop. Then you got to ramp up again when you get to the next light. Like every time you come to a light or stop sign, you have to slow down and then you have to restart again. And so stopping and starting takes much more time and it slows down everything. And so putting things in logical order, sequential order, makes the most sense. And that would be referred to as, habit stacking or establishing routines. Putting things in logical, sequential order because you're already doing certain things. So these are all the things I want to put together that's related to listing because I'm already doing stuff at that time. The next is time blocks. So, setting time blocks to be able to do, this is my block in which I'm going to do listings. This is my block in which I'm going to do product research. This is my block in which I'm going to do sourcing. And then checklist or to-do list. Some people don't like time blocks, so checklist and to-do list work out so much better for them. And so they can just check off that I did create 5 listings today versus having a time block. So they're not committing to a window in which to do it. They're committing to the activity itself. And then SMART goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, or achievable, realistic, or relevant, timely, or time-bound. So going back to the creating 5 listings. Creating 5 listings every single day is another one that is, it is a mini goal, a mini habit that you're shooting for. But once you've got that routine going, now 5 listings every single day, at the end of a week, you'll know if you're working 5 days a week, you got 25 listings up. If you're working 7 days a week, you got 35 listings up. If you are working and then you have targets for the end of the week and the end of the month. So at the end of a month, if you're doing 25 listings a week, at the end of a month, you got 100 listings, give or take. Well, give a little bit more. So you might actually have about 110 listings, because if you're working 5 days a week, there's typically 22 days in a month, typically. So 22 business days, 5 days. So in any case, you're going to do that analysis. And then once you've done that analysis, then you have, create that last sheet or that last notebook page. And that last sheet or last notebook page is putting it all together, saying, this is what I'm doing on Monday. This is what I'm doing on Tuesday. This is what I'm doing on Wednesday. This is what I'm doing on Thursday, and kind of breaking it down so that you can follow a routine and stop wasting time. Because again, if trying to figure out where you stand at the end of a week is a challenge for you, this is one of those things that will help you. Okay. Building a template that says, I am going to create listings from 2 to 3. I'm going to do, product research from 1 to 2. Like, you're going to have this whole routine that you've established. Now, we're just indicating this is the committed window in which I'm going to do this activity. The details about exactly what you're going to do is going to go in the second part of this activity, which is building the actual schedule. So before we get into building the actual schedule, we do want to go and look at our monthly plan. What were the monthly goals that we created? What were the income producing goals that we created? The operational goals, the marketing goals that we created for the month that you happen to be in right now? Because in order for us to do the detail on the weekly, we got to know what were we working towards. Remember, as I said before, daily activities build to weekly goals, weekly activities build to monthly goals. So what are the things that I needed to get done this month to contribute to those monthly goals? Next, you're going to figure out what the priorities are this week. Priorities are not just about your business, but they're about your personal life as well. So do you have doctor's appointments this week? Do you have surgery? Do you have to go get, new tires on your car because of the fact that you're going on a trip the following week, a road trip the following week? Do you have to think about all of this stuff? You got to drop your kids off at camp, blah, 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 blah. What are the priorities this week that is coming up? And then once you have figured out what those priorities are, then you want to make a note of those priorities. This also requires you to go look at your actual schedule for the week so that you're not caught off guard. This helps you to be proactive instead of reactive. If you've been struggling with just reacting to, oh, I forgot this week I had a dentist appointment. Oh, I forgot next week we're going on that road trip, so I probably should have got the tires. Now I'm doing a last minute oil change and getting new tires at the last minute. Like, everything is last minute for you and you're just reacting to everything. This will help with that. And then establishing your habits that you want to track for this week. Whether your habit that you're tracking is the 5 listings you plan on creating, or maybe it's just walking 30 minutes every single day, or 15 minutes every single day, or drinking water. Like, what is it that you're tracking? So those are all things that we're going to consider before we get into the actual. Now, remember, we had these little windows where we said we were doing certain things. We were sourcing. So this is the time in which you indicate, for this week only, what are you sourcing? So you have a sourcing window. It's already in your template. What exactly are you sourcing this week? Are you sourcing products for the next, 20 weeks? So maybe you're sourcing back to school this week. Maybe that's what you're really sourcing. And you need to put that down, sourcing back to school, because you have a sourcing activity on your schedule. It's what are you sourcing? Same thing with listing. So you have listing activity on your schedule. What are you listing this week? What listings need to go up this week that are going to impact you in the future? So this might be the week in which you're creating your listings for Prime Day, or this might be the week that you're creating your listings for, I don't know, Father's Day, or summer vacations, or 4th of July. Like, this might be the week in which you're doing that activity. So what are you listing? If you're doing shipping activities, again, if you're physically shipping, that's one thing. But if you're allowing someone else to ship for you, whether it's you're doing drop shipping, or you're doing print on demand, or whatever you have working with a wholesale supplier, whoever's doing the shipping, you have to have some window in your week where you're actually looking at, when did they really ship it? You're confirming that the shipments went out. You're tracking to make sure, because sometimes you have to do follow-ups with your customer. You don't want to be blindsided. You don't want to be lost about it. Okay. So shipping related activities, whether you're doing it or someone else. If you're doing it yourself, you need to have shipping blocks in your schedule so that you make sure that the items go out to the customer, because the goal at the end of the day when it comes to shipping is that you get to keep the money. You don't get to keep the money if you don't ship stuff out. So if you're doing the shipping, make sure you're shipping stuff out. But if somebody else is doing the shipping, then that's fine. You still need to check and confirm and follow up and make sure that and if you're going to have a VA do that for you, that's fine too. You just need to figure out what your process is going to be. Then your next one is sourcing. So we already talked about sourcing. And then your education. What do you want to learn this week? What is the one thing that you really want to learn that you think is going to help you in your business? Either going to help you in the month or going to help you in the quarter. So what do you want to learn this week? And then your administrative tasks. What administrative tasks need to get done this week? So again, we have a window on our schedule for administrative tasks. What are we doing in that window? What is the actual administrative task that we're doing? So we're filling in all the actuals. And then last but not least, again, going back and looking at your calendar, filling in things that really need to get done each day. If you're going to the dentist on Tuesday, that's an actual, and that's something that can't move because it's an established appointment. So, you have that time block in there so you won't be surprised. Make sure you set yourself up reminders that pop up on your calendar so you're not caught off guard. Once you have built out your actual schedule for next week, you can use this template over and over again to drive and dictate what you do every single week so you can be productive, so you can make progress in your business. So go through, build out your actual schedule. Come back and listen to this replay if you need to kind of give you some insight. Also, when you download the weekly planning checklist, there is a templated schedule that's in here, and it sort of accounts for what you're doing for the week. And it's just an example, so you can build your own. But I hope this information is helpful. I hope you use it to help you on your e-commerce journey. So again, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them to get organized, get focused, get consistent in their business. If that's you, I'm here for you. You can definitely schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on free resources, and let's talk about your business. Schedule that session. In addition to that, I invite you to grab the eCom planner so that it will help you to be a little more organized. All of this is outlined in there. And then you also have the opportunity to join eCom Sellers Academy if you need some support or help. So with that, I hope this information is helpful. We're still on Clubhouse. If you want to continue the conversation, you can go to the eCom Sellers Club. House, eCom Sellers House. I keep forgetting that they changed it. But anyway, go to the eCom Sellers House. And that way you can join the conversation. So with that, I hope you have an amazingly blessed, extremely focused, and highly profitable day and weekend. Remember that tomorrow we're doing the monthly planning session, and we're going to say goodbye for now. Bye, guys.